If you're someone that's trying to jump higher, not just a little bit higher, I'm talking about reach your genetic potential, this might be the single most important video that you ever listen to. My name's Isaiah Rivera. I have an officially recorded 50.5-inch vertical, and I have tracked my entire journey from 24 inches to 50.5 right here on this YouTube channel. And before I get into what that single most important thing is, I'm gonna start by telling you about Dunk Camp. Dunk Camp is an event that is hosted every single summer in Utah, and it's where the best professional dunkers in the world get together to teach guys how to jump higher in person. And not just jump higher, we also teach them everything about dunking, from dunk technique to training to mindset and jump technique. And the way Dunk Camp is set up is day one is on Monday, and that's usually when athletes test their vertical, have dunk sessions, and just go buck wild dunking all day. Tuesday is usually a lighter low rim session day. Wednesday's completely off. And then Thursday, there's a dunk competition, the final vert testing. And then for the pros, there is a dunk show. And every single year at Dunk Camp, athletes get hurt. A lot of athletes come out of it super banged up. And I saw that this year at the dunk show. Mind you, I'm naturally a very injury prone athlete. I got knee pain for the first time when I was 14. And it literally never went away. It's actually part of the reason I became so passionate about researching tendon health, how to stay healthy, and that sort of thing. And despite being so injury prone, I was able to get a world record for the highest vertical jump. And I remember when I was first getting into the world of pro dunking, I was running into these freak athletes that could, no warm up, just go out and jump 45, 46 inches. Meanwhile, I've been having to warm up for like 20 minutes ever since I was 14 just to be able to put down a one-hander. So keep that in mind as I say this story. So at Dunk Camp, the Thursday show happens and we're warming up for the dunk show, and boom, one of the pro dunkers starts getting IT band issues on both legs. He drops out of the show. Mind you, there's probably around like 10 dunkers in this show. Then we go out, we start doing our competition, boom, another dunker pulls his adductor. Mind you, I'm warming up super slowly right now because I'm dealing with some IT band issues. So I'm taking my time warming up, right? I'm trying not to jump through pain. I'm using a pain-guided warm-up, which if you don't know what a tendon pain-guided warm-up, you basically use a 1 to 10 scale in terms of pain when you're jumping, when you're warming up for a jump session, and then you adjust your intensity up or down based on where you are on that scale. And if you do it correctly, you can go in feeling like an 8 out of 10 tendon pain and still be able to have a full dunk session without flaring up your tendon. It's how I've been able to do many competitions and stay healthy even through some crazy injuries, which if you want access to that tendon pain guide, you can sign up for my coaching at THPstrength.com. For a limited amount of time, it is 90% off of your first month. So if you've been worried about trying it out, you can go test it out, see if you like it, which I guarantee you will because it's the best coaching on the planet. And when you sign up, you're gonna get access to that in-depth tendon pain guide. So I'm doing the dunk show. Mind you, there's like 10 dunkers at first. Next thing you know, I look up and there's like 3 or 4 guys dunking. One of them is Jay Clark, who's like 36 years old, I believe, right now. And I was just like, what on earth happened? And then talking to a lot of the guys post-show, a bunch of guys had, pulled muscles. They dropped out because they were feeling tendon pain. And I was just like, bro, what is happening, right? This should not be happening. And I started thinking about it. And this is something that happens every single year at this event. And I realized it's because guys aren't preparing properly for the show. Mind you, I'm not exempt from this. I was super healthy for 6 weeks leading up to the show, and then I messed up. And I made the same mistake these guys made here at the show. I'm gonna explain what that is. The number one rule for keeping healthy tendons when training, and this goes for any sport, if you're a basketball player, volleyball player, or if you're a dunker or a track and field athlete. If you wanna keep healthy tendons, you can't have rapid changes in load, in both intensity and volume. Intensity is how hard you're trying in terms of sprinting and jumping, and volume is how many times you're running and jumping. The number one reason tendon flare-ups happen is because of rapid changes in loading. I'll use myself as an example, right? I've been training all year to peak at Dunk Camp. Just had 2 months in a row where I was jumping the highest of my life, completely healthy, hitting PRs in the weight room, and my sessions were about an hour long. Then, 3 weeks out from Dunk Camp, typically my sessions have been 45 minutes to an hour in this entire 2-month span. 3 weeks out from Dunk Camp, I have a 2-hour jump session. Actually, I think it was 2.5 hours. That is a 250% increase in loading. So my IT band the tendon that attaches the quad to the greater trochanter, I just call it IT band because people don't know what the greater trochanter is, got very flared up. Then I was supposed to take the next session off to give myself time to recover, and I still went out and jumped through pain. So I messed it all up, right? Now, the example of the other athletes at camp. These are athletes that are used to jumping once a week or maybe even twice a week. Let's say you're jumping twice a week. Then you go to dunk camp and you do 3 jump sessions in a week that are all 3 hours long when you're normally used to jumping once a week or twice a week for an hour. Then you're doing, low rim drills. You're playing basketball. Not only that, your outputs are higher because you're surrounded by all these athletes and you have a lot of adrenaline pumping. So now your jumps are more intense at a way higher volume, at a way higher frequency. And that is like the #1 recipe for disaster for tendons. When I'm telling you guys, this is the reason. I've coached thousands of athletes now in the last few years. And this is the main reason athletes get hurt. It's just rapid changes in load. That's it. If you just fix that one thing, this one thing, you will avoid most tendon injuries. And if you want to build up to having more frequent and longer jump sessions, you have to gradually build up to it. Athletes get in trouble is they take a lot of time off, go right into very long and intense jump sessions. Or, like in my case, a random 3-hour session where you normally jump for 2 hours, or a 2-hour session when you normally jump for 1 hour. The thing that is difficult is human nature, right? It's easier said than done. In my case, I got put into an environment that was high adrenaline, super excited to jump. And then at the end of the session, I started trying off the side 360 East Bay, which I've never hit before. And I was back rimming it. So I wanted to keep trying. And it's actually part of the reason I stay away from trying new dunks nowadays, because hitting new dunks requires, 2 to 3 hours of jumping in one session. And I'm getting older, my outputs are higher, and I can't afford to have sessions that long. And I could build up to that point, but I don't want to sacrifice the quality of training. I'm at a point where I want to jump higher, not necessarily hit new dunks. The ideal scenario is you start training when you're younger, when your outputs are lower. You build up to the point where you can have long jump sessions and hard training sessions all in the same week, and then you maintain that volume. And then when you're deloading and when you're going to have a big dunk session or you're in a high adrenaline environment, that is the most important time to actually have a shorter session because those outputs are higher. So you're basically multiplying the loading. It is human nature to want to go for longer, but that's the exact time where you should go for a shorter amount of time. And this is also why having coaching is so important. It's why me, as a coach, I know how to jump higher. I know how to stay healthy. I still need to get coached by John, not because I don't know what to do, but because he helps me stay disciplined. You always need somebody in your corner. And if you want my team of coaches at THP to be in your corner with your jump training, whether you're a volleyball player, basketball player, a dunker, or a track and field athlete, go to THPstrength.com and sign up. 90% off your first month. Take advantage of it now. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.